In a world where filmmakers are heading towards the dark pit of AI like moths to light, one lone director and VFX artist will do something no other will dare to do. Go outside.
Hey, I'm Colin Black. I'm a writer, director, VFX artist based out of LA. Thank you so much for thinking that this thumbnail was worthy of your time. CGI, Kappa, Gamma, whatever the Greek letter for I is what nerds call computer-generated imagery. That stuff that makes Transformers and makes Marvel VFX artists want to quit the industry. Fun fact, I am not a CGI hater. I'm not like your most annoying cinephile you knew from college. CGI has a ton of merit. However, I am brave enough to admit that CGI isn't always the answer, and sometimes it's not even the easier answer. And a great example of when CGI wasn't the best answer for me is from my upcoming horror short film, Help. In the script, there are a handful of shots of spiders crawling around to up the creepy factor for the short. Also, this is a great time to mention, if you have arachnophobia, you may not want to watch this. Or, I don't know, get over it. There's a screen in between the two of us. The spider's not gonna come and get you. That's mean. You can click on this. So plan A was just like, let's find a spider wrangler and pay them all the money they want and just film the spider on set for real, like a real filmmaker, like Werner Herzog. I got really excited about doing this for real as somebody who does a lot digitally, but then I thought about it more and more and I was like, wait, that's stupid. It's only for a handful of shots, and taking the time out of our day to meticulously film a little spider would have been a waste of our precious little time, and I have the knowledge to do it in post, so why not do it? So I thought, fine, I'll make it with CGI. So plan B was just to get a spider model online and have my talented friend Santino do all the hard work of actually animating the thing, because I didn't want to. So we filmed the short with this plan in place. We shot plates of nothing and got some reference with a little octopus guy for Santino to replicate the scale and lighting. Even apologizing to Santino for the tough work that was in front of him.
Sorry, Santino.
And then that was it. Until, while I was editing the rough cut for the film, I did something called temp effects. These are basically effects that you do really shittily and quickly to portray what is happening in the rough cut, so you can show it to your friends and colleagues and then cringe at every unfinished shot you have in your short. So while editing, I had an epiphany. To do the temp effects of the spider, I found some stock footage of a tarantula on a green screen, and I poorly, in Premiere Pro, added it to the shots. Then I realized this doesn't look all that bad. So what if instead of animating a spider, I just filmed my own spider on a green screen? Surely I could find a spider around my house, film it at the proper angles for the short, then just use computer magic and place one shot on top of the other. Okay. I know what you're thinking. Colin, I thought you said CGI isn't always the answer, but you're comping the spider into the frame
with a computer software like some uninspired hack that wouldn't know good cinema if it hit him over the head.
When I say CGI, I mean computer generated, meaning that the spider would be completely made in the computer with a software like Blender. Because I would be filming the spider for real and I'm just comping it in with digital compositing software, technically I didn't generate anything from the computer. Some would say that's cheating, others couldn't give a shit. And if you want to learn how to do spider effects of your own, or non-spider effects, or practically anything else, then you should check out the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Y'all, learning is important. I love to learn, and I think learning new skills is what keeps a creative mind active, but sometimes it's hard for me to find consistent quality videos on specific skills that I want to learn. However, I've been using Skillshare for the past few months, and it's great. It's a platform where I can learn an entire course on VFX, or even filmmaking, start to finish, taught by people who are actually working in the industry, saving me so much time scouring the internet to find quality lessons and courses. If you want to level up a specific skill like motion tracking in After Effects or building clean composites in Blender, you can find a full class on Skillshare, taught by professionals. Like this course by Amone LaRussa, VFX and After Effects. And it's not just VFX. They have thousands of classes across art, illustration, filmmaking, and photography, and so much more, all taught by real-world class professionals. And you can learn at your own pace whenever it fits your schedule. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan this QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today. Thanks to Skillshare for being a supporter of the channel. Now back to the video. So with my crazy idea, plan C was in place, and I took the biggest leap a work from home VFX artist could do. Go out in the sunlight. So the first thing I had to do was put on some sunscreen, but the second thing was find a spider. I don't want to destroy their homes, destroy their webs and stuff. I want to find a spider, catch it, but I want to put it back to where I found it. I'm Spider-Man. These trees are full of spiders. I battle them every summer, so I'm probably gonna find one somewhere in here. I think I found my man. He's just in this little burrow here. Oh my god, spiders are fucking creepy. Look how close. Here's the set. This is him. He's in his trailer. He's ready for his close-up. There's another one right here. I have the pick of the litter. There's a couple of spiders that want to audition. I submit to the court the best spider catching device. A little cup and the DD poster. This might be harder than I thought. Spiders are recluse and they don't want to be caught, I guess. Because they're shy. They don't want to be actors. Wouldn't want to be in this short film. It's like the greatest opportunity in the world. So after 30 minutes of searching, I found the lead of my short film, Toby the Spider. So with my shot list, with the angles I needed, I carefully had Toby do the actions. Luckily, most of the actions were to crawl, and Toby really had that in the bag. He was pretty good. Basically, this was a very tedious process of filming and hoping for the best. Toby was really small, so I had to get really close to him to film, and I had to keep him in focus, which was much harder than I thought it was going to be. Then, in a major twist of events, after leaving Toby in his trailer, he stormed off set without warning. In the arms of the... I guess stars are just meant to be in the sky. Actors. Am I right? Thankfully, I had enough footage of Toby crawling around to start comping into my shots. So weirdly enough, the green screen shots I got of the spider were unusable because Toby was so freaking small that you could see the knitting of the green screen fabric, and it was messing up the key of the shadow. It would have been better to use a green poster board instead, but I didn't do it. So I've only filmed a spider once in my life. Like, you learn. However, I did have the forethought to film Toby on a white card, and because he is dark, I can pull what's called a lumimat, which is basically a green screen, but instead of keying out green, it keys out bright things. I went in and keyed him out and added a healthy dose of sharpening. I then placed Toby in the shots and did my best to replicate a shadow and reflection in comp, and also try to match the camera's blur. I had that red octopus as reference, which was nice, but it's still a good amount of guesswork and artistry to make it look good and correct. And honestly, this is where doing it in CGI would have been a better strategy, because we could have recreated the lighting and the camera exactly and gotten the material of the wood to match and achieve a close to perfect shadows, reflections, and camera lens blur. But one thing CGI doesn't have that Toby has in spades is perfect animation. It's really tough to beat a perfectly animated spider like Toby, because he is a spider and he's moving how a spider would in real life. Obviously, a talented animator like Santino could replicate a spider's movement, but it's hard, and any odd motion can throw it into the uncanny valley. Yes, the CGI could have had accurate shadows and lighting, but in this case, I opted for better animation than better optics, because most audiences can miss a shadow being off here or there, but they probably won't miss the animation being off, and they'll just immediately peg it as fake. So it's a bit of a compromise, but that's all right. So when it was all said and done, I had a real spider in my film like I always wanted. It just took a few more steps than I thought. Sometimes practical is better, sometimes CGI is better, and a lot of the times both is better. The truth is, having the technical and creative knowledge to understand which technique or combination of techniques is best to portray your story with all the extreme and tough limitations that indie filmmaking can throw your way is the important part to understand as a filmmaker. The irony of this is that it would have been easier if Santino did all the spider shots and I wouldn't have had to spend an evening in cobwebs. So it technically wasn't easier for me, but if I had to animate the spider myself, it would have been harder and would have taken much longer. But I'm gonna be honest, I haven't had that much fun filming something by myself like that in a long time. I was excited to get to comping it and making this crazy idea work. And it's these things that make you realize that it's not just the outcome, it's the process. I didn't need to do this, at all. And frankly, I would have been excited seeing an amazingly done CGI spider shot done by Santino. But I knew all along that I wanted the spider to be real, and sometimes that's all you need to make a decision. It just took some creative thinking and dumb luck to get to work. I love filmmaking and I love sharing what I do with y'all. So thank you so much for your time and sticking around to the end. Please subscribe for more filmmaking videos. Help is almost done and I'm really excited to share that film with y'all. And check out my previous video on why I love CGI right there. All right, everyone, see you later. Bye.